Very much agree with what you just said. Right. Where did you get your inspiration from to start Bedford School of Music and Performing Arts, and who did you start it with?
Oh, good question. So, when my wife and I moved here to Oamaru, I started teaching a bit of guitar. It had been something I'd said I'd never do. And I always said I'd never do it because if I did it, I would do it this way, and I'd do this and I'd do that. So I had this clear-cut plan as to how and why I wouldn't teach, which was a great foundation to what I do now, because I do it differently to what people would have expected. My wife is also a musician, and she's trained to teach as well, and so I brought her in on board just to make it a school rather than just me teaching by myself. And it was all go from there. We actually initially we started it to make some money, and then we got inspired by the young people, and I've never enjoyed anything so much in my life as seeing young people grow and thrive in areas that they may not have developed in otherwise. And sometimes it's not about music, it's about them learning or drama or dance. Sometimes it's just about them achieving something for the first time in their lives.
I do very much agree that we do strive on what young people learn. Right. How many concerts have you been to, and what bands or artists?
Now that's a long answer to that question. I've been to huge amounts of different acts, not so much in the last few years because my focus has been very much on the school and the entertainment company, but I went to a rock festival in Wellington, and it had Alice Cooper, Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss, Poison, White Snake, bands that I'm sure you haven't heard of, but that was really amazing. But a lot of other type of artists, not just rock artists. So, like yes, I've seen Bon Jovi a couple of times, and Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver, but I saw Keith Urban and Carrie Underwood in Wellington not so long ago, a few years ago. Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, they're kind of it's old school artists I really enjoy the most seeing live, but I thought Bruce Springsteen was a bit of a disappointment actually. The show was 3.5 hours long, and it just was way too long for me. I didn't love it as much as I thought I would compared to other shows. Not the big stage show that a lot of artists are doing these days with the big screens and stuff. It was actually a little bit boring. So, yeah.
So kids, go to concerts, you might learn new things. Last question, what's your role in the Harbour Street Jazz and Blues Festival this year?
Okay, so my role in Harbour Street seems to be growing. I am employed to run the workshops and provide the venue. I run the talent quest. So anything youth orientated is my focus. I do a bit of sound and photography and stuff. My wife is one of the chief photographers for the festival this year. And I'm kind of her assistant, her whipping boy. But anything to do with youth is what my focus is with the Harbour Street Festival and any other festival I'm involved in. It's youth and opportunities for people to actually start a career and get experience. So the talent quest is probably one of the most exciting things I do. We run the workshops and we bring people far and wide. It's often people that are involved in the festival in some way that have come down. We've got an industry panel this year with 3 of the most amazing women in music history in New Zealand. Annie Crummer being one of them, Jackie Clark, that's going to be amazing, and all those workshops are free for students to go to. So if students watching, go and check out any of those classes. Just go to every single one of them, even if you know nothing about the subject. Make the most of it.
So we're coming up on to the end of our show here tonight. So if you do have any more questions about Jae, go to this Harbour Street Jazz and Blues Festival. This is going to be the end of the show. Thank you, good night.